The American degree program is based on an American liberal arts education. It is based on a larger and firmer foundation of knowledge so that our graduates are more confident in their opinions and are able to defend their positions when they are challenged. The American degree program at Segi College Penang is the only program in northern Malaysia that offers you the opportunity to do 4 years in Penang and earn an American degree from a respected American university, Troy University. The degrees that we offer are a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with a major in Global Business and a Bachelor of Science in Psychology with either a minor in Communication or Global General Business.
flexibility of 3+1 idea or 2+2 or even just the 402, it gives a student so many range of options that I just don't think you can find another program like that anywhere in the world.
The American degree program at Sagi College is very flexible. You can do either all 4 years here in Penang and earn the American degree from a respected university, Troy, in the USA, and that will cost you about 56,000 ringgit. Or you can do 3 years here in Penang and 1 year at Troy, and this will cost only about 125,000 ringgit, but it allows you to work in the USA for 1 year under optional practical training, and this can lead to an H-1B essential worker visa and also eventually to a green card application. If you do a 2+2 program, your credits may not all transfer for the last 2 years, and you might have to do more than 2 years. Also, it is more expensive. For the 2 years, you will have to budget at least 350,000 ringgit to go to an average American university.
The American system allows you to explore a little more and give you some time, and then find out what you're good at, what you like to do. When I first came to Malaysia, I came specifically to meet our SEGI partners. The same warmth that I get from our faculty and students at Troy is the same experience I have with the SEGI family. And so I really trust them, and I'm really proud that SEGI has them as well.
We are here to actually provide all the support to develop students to become a confident graduate that is needed by the industry. Please feel welcome to visit us to see how we do our transformation of students.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinars. Are you prisoner of past experiences? So before we start, I would like to go through something so that you know how to participate in today's sessions.
Hi Grace, sorry you have muted yourself. Grace, your mic is muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
thank
you hear me?
you.
Okay, so let me start again. So first of all, audience are welcome to ask any questions in the live chat rooms. Okay, so our speaker will try to respond to your questions from time to time. Secondly, a Q&A sessions will also be open in the last 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, please leave your questions in the live chat room and we will try to answer it. Okay, so there will also be a link for digital certificates provided at the end of this webinar. Okay, once again, welcome everyone to today's webinars. Are you a prisoner of past experiences? Understand how your family of origins impacts your lives today. We know that our family of origins is the family where all of us grow up. We are shaped by our family life experiences, whether it's good or bad. So, what if your family of origins had a negative impact of you? Or are you facing any relationship issues with your family members? Are your present relationship marred by the behavior patterns shaped by your family of origins? So today, let us learn about the family dynamics and identify the dysfunctional patterns that hinder you from developing healthy relationships and mental wellness. I'm your host speaker of today's Grace, and also the lecturers of psychology at SAGI. I've completed my master in child psychology from UCSI University and have experiences in working with special needs children. So, um, as mentioned, in SAGI, we do offer a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. So this is an American degree program. So students who finish their SPM can directly enter to this program and it's an accredited degree program. So for those who are interested with this program, please feel free to contact with us. Now, I would like to introduce our speakers today, Dr. Lai Feng Hua, who is an experienced consultant child and adolescent psychiatrist. Dr. Lai was graduated in medicine and psychiatry from University of Malaya. He was subsequently awarded a Malaysian government scholarship to pursue specialty training in child and adolescent psychiatry and cognitive behavioral therapy at Oxford at the year 2001 and 2002. At the year 2018, Dr. Lai was also completed a postgraduate diploma in multi-generational family therapy from the Academy of Family Therapy in Rome. Besides, Dr. Lai is an associate professor of psychiatry at Penang Medical College, and he also be granted 4 Penang State Awards by our Penang governor as a recognition of his commitment in mental health services at Penang State. At the year 2016, Dr. Lai was also awarded as the Tokoh Orang Kurang Upaya Pulau Pinang. So, without wasting any more time, now I would like to welcome Dr. Lai for today's sessions.
Thank you, Grace. Let me share
Hello.
screen. Yeah.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Sagi, for your invitation to speak on this topic. Some time ago, there was a a bear in a zoo. This was a real story told by some zookeeper. There was this zoo that needed to do some renovation to the place where the bear was staying. Okay, it was bear's lair. So they needed to do some renovation, but as you know, bear can be quite ferocious and fierce. So the workers were afraid. So they found a tree in the middle of the compound. They put some fences with some space around the tree, and they put that bear inside that fence up place so that the workers can go into the bear compound and do the renovation without fear of the bear biting them. This went on for I think a month or more. So every day the zoo warden will come and feed the bear inside the cage, inside the fence up place. The bear can only move around that fence up place. After the renovation was over, the fence was removed and the zookeeper was expecting the bear to go back to stay in his old the place which has been renovated. But the surprising thing was the bear didn't move back to his old house. He continued to stay around the tree and only walk around the compound which was fenced up earlier. Very interesting. It's as if the bear still has the fence in his own mind. In the head of the bear, the fence was still there. So he only walked around the tree, but never out of the fenced up area. So I thought of using this metaphor to share our topic today. Many of us are like this bear. Because of our past experience, we still have a fence in our head, in our mind, that keeps us from going out and moving further and doing more things.
What are psychological fences? Mindsets that keep us from growing, mindsets that keep us from trying, mindsets that keep us repeating mistakes, mindsets that imprison us in helplessness.
I think all of us, as we grow up, we notice that each one of us have some of these mindsets that keeps us from doing the things we want to do, trying things that we want to do. If you put a cockroach in front of me, I will run 10 feet away from it. That's my mindset, There's a fence between me and the cockroach. I will never go near a cockroach.
There's a video. Next is mistakes that keep us from trying.
Okay.
Mistakes that keep us from mindsets that keep us from repeating mistakes, and mindsets that imprison us in helplessness. Then there's a video.
All right, you want to show the video?
Yeah.
We'll show you a video to illustrate some of these points.
There are two types of mindset we can cultivate. One that embraces problems as opportunities to learn, and one that avoids them, often out of fear to fail. People that avoid conflicts can be described as having a fixed mindset. Those who see problems as interesting challenges have a growth mindset. Sometimes we like to switch from one to the other. People have a fixed mindset because they believe that basic qualities like intelligence or talents are fixed traits, and that these traits are responsible for success. They often like to document past achievements. With a growth mindset, people believe that new abilities can be developed through practice. This view creates the love for learning that most great leaders and artists have in common. For them, life becomes an exciting journey with endless opportunity to figure out new things and advance. To develop a growth mindset, Dr. Carol Dweck, the Stanford University professor who coined the term, advises leaders, teachers, and parents to celebrate trying. Teachers should applaud students for any grade if they studied hard. Parents should encourage their children to develop any new skill they are interested in. Doing this will make them learn the skill of learning, which will also help them back in the classroom. To illustrate the difference in everyday life, let's observe two imaginary kids. Jay thinks you've either got it or you haven't. Anne knows that she can learn anything if she wants it enough. At physical exercise, Jay avoids challenges. When it's time to jump over the vaulting horse, he's afraid to look stupid and be laughed at. Anne embraces any challenge. It's exciting. It's fun. She knows that failing is part of learning, and if she tries hard, at the end, nobody will laugh at her. Jay avoids feedback. If the teacher tells him how to improve an assignment he has been working on, he takes it personally. Anne knows that to improve, she needs to listen to constructive criticism. She also understands that it's not her that is being assessed, but the results of her work on that one day. Jay always takes the easy road. For example, he likes escalators and hates to take the stairs. When he is practicing the guitar, he stops the moment he's getting stuck. Anne usually doesn't even take escalators. She jumps up the stairs, counts every step in her head, and enjoys feeling the blood rushing through her veins. She practices the drums every morning for 15 minutes. Not that she always enjoys it, but she knows that effort is part of a journey to a more fun life. Anne likes to see others succeed. It inspires her. She knows that if she motivates her friends to get better, she herself is likely to grow too. If his friends try new things and succeed, Jay feels threatened. He's afraid that their success will put pressure on him to do more with his life too. Modern companies look for employees with a growth mindset because they solve problems and persist despite obstacles. To spot the right ones, some ask during the interview whether the job applicant believes if managers are born or if management is a skill learned. Jay thinks that managers are born. Anne gets the job. Neuroscientists support the idea. They confirm that the brain grows like any other muscle in the body, with training. Studies show that adopted twins tend to have higher intelligence compared to their siblings who stayed with their biological parents. The difference appears to come from the higher educational levels of adoptive parents and shows that nurture is more important than nature. A simple switch in how a person views a situation can mean the world of difference. Not just the outcome of that situation, the outcome of that person's place in life. As the late poet Samuel Beckett once said, "Ever tried? Ever failed? No matter. Try again. Fail better." What do you think about the concept? Is it overly simplistic? And if you buy the idea, do you believe it is possible to make a permanent switch from a fixed to a growth mindset? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below.
You see.
Where do fences come from? Inherited from family of origin, learned from negative life experiences, acquired from friends and society, or traumatic experiences?
So some of us are naturally have a growth mindset, and others have fixed mindset. We can't blame the people who have this kind of mindsets if it's fixed. A lot of times is because of what the experience that we have since young. Okay, some of these experiences are inherited from our family of origin, from our grandparents. Some are learned along the way. If we are during primary school and we get bullied or we get put down by some teachers, we don't feel like trying anymore. We don't feel like doing extra things. So some of these experience can put a fence around us, and traumatic memories, traumatic events in the past can also put cages around us to move freely.
What can fences do to you? Keep you unhappy, keep you stagnant, keep you from achieving goals, disrupt relationships with others.
You think of yourself, you may or may not have some of these fences that keeps you from trying, keeps you from being happier. I came across some young ladies who has a boyfriend for the first time, and they are quite happy. But later on, when they see their boyfriend talking to other girls, they get very upset, and they will scold the boyfriend, and they will tell the boyfriend, "Don't talk to other girls." But this will interfere with their relationship, with her relationship with her boyfriend, and in the end, it may cause her boyfriend to break up with her. So these are all fences that can interfere with our relationship, can interfere with ability to do better in our lives.
And just now, when you saw that video about the two children, you'll notice that the boy, okay, was unhappy and stagnant. He didn't want to try, all right, because he was worried he will fail and people would laugh at him. He didn't want to practice because that will take too much effort. And what happened is that he remained stagnant. All right, means he didn't make any progress. Okay, so think about your fences. They're invisible, but they're there. Okay, what is keeping you unhappy? What is stopping you from achieving what you want to achieve? And what fences are affecting your relationships? Example of fences: 1, avoid feedback or possible failure.
Okay, so someone with this fence probably could have in the past, whenever they fail, they were punished, or whenever they failed, they were scolded, and whatever feedback they got about their work, it was all negative. It was always not good enough, or very bad, or why can't you do better? So if we always get this kind of negative feedback, we would not want to have feedback, right? Feedback actually should be both negative and positive, and even better if it's more positive, then it encourages us to want to learn more and get more feedback. But if in the past we have always been getting negative feedback and scolding for our attempts to do better, then we will learn to rather not get any feedback.
2, I am always right.
There are others who grow up in families where they are encouraged to be first all the time, to be always right all the time, and sometimes we may start learning this wrong idea that I need to be always right, or I need to always win, I cannot lose. So, but you all know that this kind of thinking will not get the person very far, right? People will not like the person very much. So look at the others and see what you think about the other statements.
3, anything less than perfection is failure.
Okay.
Asking for help is weak. Everyone is judging me. Making a mistake is a disaster. If you win, then I lose. Or kiasu mentality. There is only one way to succeed. And there are many other statements which are examples of psychological fences.
Okay. As you read these statements, any statement that you think you agree very much with, all these statements actually are wrong. That the answers are they are all unhealthy statements or statements that are not helpful. So if any one of these you think you have, they are actually fences that are the fence that traps you. So just make a mark in your mind which are the one that you have, and then maybe talk to your friends or talk to your teacher later how to reduce this, dismantle this fence.
Family identity, separateness, or connectedness. Which one you start with? There's detached, enmeshed, and healthy.
Many of the fences we get are partly inherited from our family. Family comes in different forms, and there are families where members of the family are overly close to each other. We call it enmeshed. There are also families where members are very distant from each other. We call it disengaged. So example of disengaged family are people who says that my house is not a home, it's just a place where a hotel where members of the family come and stay, eat, and then go off to work. So everybody eat at the different time, doesn't even talk to each other. They come in, they go out, and nobody knows what is happening to the other person. So that is a disengaged family. And mesh family is the other opposite, where everybody is so close to each other, too close until you can't breathe, and which is also not healthy. So the healthy one is in the middle, okay, where we have space for each other, but we also are connected. So why do we talk about this in talking about fences? A lot of times we inherit some unhelpful kind of fences from our families of origin. So in a family that is very enmeshed, very overly close to each other, we tend to be we tend to alienate ourselves from the outside world. So people outside are dangerous. You may believe that we can only trust family members. So those are some fences which may or may not be helpful, right? So disengaged families may have fences like we cannot depend on your anybody. You must stand alone. You must learn to be independent. So even parents cannot help you very much. The kind of thinking, which may or may not be helpful. Okay. Next.
Fences in families. 1. Emotions must not be expressed. 2. Saying one thing but mean something else.
Okay. There are some families, if we grow up in this family where emotions cannot be expressed, we don't have much freedom to move. So whenever we feel upset, we have to keep it quiet. We cannot tell other people. We cannot share our feelings, which makes us quite unhappy people. So the second thing.
Saying one thing but you mean something else.
Okay. There are some families where communication is not very clear and transparent. So maybe a mom, when you ask your mom, can I go out with my friends? Mom say, yes, go. And then when you come back, your mom won't talk to you for the next 3 days. So what is your mom saying? Your mom actually don't like to go out with friends, but she says you can go. but when you come back, she punishes you by not talking to you for 3 days. So those are communication difficulties which are not very helpful. So if we come from such family, we have fences. We do not know, if what I'm doing is correct or not. Can I take people at what they say value? Can I just listen to what they say outwardly, or do I have to read in between the lines what they really mean?
Rigid traditions, gender inequality.
Okay. Other fences which we may have inherited from our families, like rigid traditions. Rigid traditions. I came across a family where the women in the house always prepares food for the men in the house. So there was a husband who comes home, and wife was late coming home from work. And then the husband, although he could have easily gone to the fridge and get a sandwich, he just sat there and waited for hours until the wife came home to get him food. So that is rigid tradition. And
Gender inequality.
gender inequality is like, I think in Chinese family, there's a lot of Chinese and probably Indian family as well. Prominence given to males, to boys. Okay, the girls have to do all the work, and the boys don't have to do anything.
Then invisible loyalties and negative family patterns.
Invisible loyalties are feelings that we owe it to our parents to do what they want us to do. So like certain families who after a guy gets married, he feels that it is disloyal, it is not loyal to his own parents if he were to visit the wife's family, go to the in-laws house. I should not go to my in-laws house because I'm closer to my own parents. So this kind of loyalty may interfere with relationship with your wife. So there are many unsaid rules that may be passed down.
Identifying fences.
When do you know there's a fence around you?
All or none or always.
Usually when you say something to yourself and you catch yourself saying something, and that phrase or sentence have some of these words, all or none, everyone should do this, or nobody should allow their children to go out with the boyfriend or girlfriend. So when you hear this all or none, shoulds, oughts, then you just stop and check yourself. This rule, where did I learn it from? Okay, who taught it to me?
Nobody or everybody.
Okay. So usually the words or the sentences, the rules are usually very extreme. It's either black or white.
Dismantling fences in your mind or challenging your thinking.
So if you feel you have some fences around you that keeps you from trying new things or going doing things, you can try some of these techniques.
1. Using questions.
Okay. Questions are quite good to dismantle some of our offenses that is passed down from either our families of origin or from friends or from societies that we learn. Recently, I came across a story where this guy says his friends are more important than his wife, and the Chinese has this saying, which is actually a wrong saying, but it gets passed around, that that friends are more important than wife. Okay? Friends are your hands and legs, and wife are your clothing, so you can change your clothing, which is actually a wrong teaching. So you can ask a question: where do you learn this from? You know, do you learn it from your parents, or do you learn it from your friends, or do you learn it from watching too much soap operas? Do you think this teaching is really true or not true?
2, doing behavioral experiments,
This one we'll talk about it later.
reading books and listening to talks.
You have a separate set.
Okay, using questions. 1, is this way of thinking helpful? 2,
So you can ask yourself this question.
2, where did I learn this from?
Certain families, we get very anxious over things. Little things get us so anxious. When if in this COVID period, and a member of our family starts coughing, then we start asking, should we go to hospital? Overly anxious, okay. And one of my teacher, David Hong, like to ask this question: where do you get these worry germs from? Where do you contact these worry germs from? So ask yourself such questions. Why am I so worried about things?
Does my best friend think the same?
This is a good question which I like to ask to dismantle some of these fences. Whenever you have fences and you don't dare to do things, let's say you got a chance to go and give a speech, you say, oh, cannot lah, I cannot speak properly. You can ask, will your good friend say the same thing if she's given a chance to give a speech? Then you may say, oh, she won't, she will dare to go up and speak because she's so brave. So you can ask yourself, why is she so brave and you cannot be that brave? She and you are the same one. You know, you are classmates, you eat the same food. So what makes her so different from you? So ask questions like this.
4, what if I don't follow this rule?
So we may grow up with some set rules that we carried with us. But when these set rules keep us from doing the things that we like, which we think are good, then we need to question ourselves. So if I don't follow this rule, what will happen? What will be so bad if I don't follow this rule? A lot of people say hawker food are bad. So if I go and eat hawker food, so what will happen? Will I have diarrhea? Will I go sick? What will happen? Okay.
Is there anyone in my family or is there anyone in my life who doesn't follow this rule?
Okay. So those of us who come from huge extended family can ask ourselves, is there any uncle or auntie, cousins who may not follow this rule and who are still living a good life? You know, you may find an auntie who says, oh yeah, she doesn't care about what grandma says, when she will just do what she thinks is right. And how is she doing now? What has happened to her? I'm not asking you to disobey everything that family teaches you. Families do pass down a lot of good teachings, a lot of good experience, good lessons. One of the good lessons which which was passed down by my grandparents, was always boil water before you drink them. So it was good for them during that time when their water was never chlorinated. But nowadays, our water are chlorinated, it's safer, but it is still a safe thing to do, which I still follow. Because there's nothing against if I follow, it doesn't take me too much time and too much money. So I will follow those rules. But if this rule starts to cause you to interfere with your daily life too much, then you can reconsider. Do I still need to follow this rule?
Doing behavioral experiments. Setting up safe experiments to test the effect of breaking rules. Example, walking the banana, water spilled on blouse, and eating hawker food.
For some people who are very shy, anxious, they may have these fans around them that says, oh, it is terrible, it will be a disaster if you do something wrong in public. You know, if people start laughing at you, that's the end of the world for you. So some psychology schools actually got their students to do this funny thing called walking the banana. They will get their psychology student to go to a mall, tie a raffia string to the end of a banana, and tie the other end of the string to their trousers, and then ask them to walk with this banana put behind their back in the mall with so many people looking at them. So for the shy person to think of doing that is, she will probably pengsan and but they videotaped the whole thing. What actually happened was they followed this so-called crazy guy and walking around with a banana. People just looked at this, stared at him for 4 seconds. They counted 1, 2, 3, 4. After 4 seconds, they actually walk off and started doing their own thing. So nobody laughed, nobody did anything strange. They just stared at this guy, looked at his face, looked at the banana, 4 seconds and walked off. So in the end, no disaster happened. Nobody sent this guy to the mental hospital. No security guard came. So it wasn't that big a thing lah, you know. Another lady was a counselor. She was also trying to talk to this client who was very afraid of doing the wrong things in public. You know, if you stand on stage and say something wrong or do something wrong, that will be a disaster. So this counselor actually told her, okay, I'm speaking afterwards in a public talk, and what she says she will do, I will purposely spill some water on my blouse, and then see you see what happened, okay? And this client was so panicky and frightened, you know, how can you do that? You know, the whole roof will come down. But the counselor went ahead. She, during middle of the talk, she purposely went for a sip of water and accidentally poured some water on her blouse. Nobody said anything. She just said, oops, I'm so clumsy. Put the glass back on the table and continue talking. Nobody said anything. Nobody made any comments. In the end, everybody forgot about the whole incident. So these are called behavioral experiments. When you are afraid to do something, why don't you just experiment, you know, experiment doing the things you are afraid of. Some of us are afraid to ask people for help. So you think that, okay, if I ask someone for help, he will say I'm stupid, or he will not want to help me. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not true. Why don't you experiment? Just try and see what happens. So if they don't want to help you, fine. Or if they say you're stupid, fine. So what other possibilities are there? So do it as an experiment and see what comes up.
Eating hawker food.
Eating hawker food, I told you already. For people who have this strong belief that hawker food are poisonous and you shouldn't
Bad
eat
for
hawker
health.
food, try eating hawker food every day for 1 week and see what happens to you. See whether you land up in hospital or not. Okay, so things are experiments that you can do if you like some fun. Do it together with some friends and see what happens.
Dealing with stubborn memories.
Another thing that can trap us is traumatic events, things that are traumatic in the past that keeps reminding us of what has happened. Okay, many of these may have happened in our own family. Others may have happened in school.
ACEs, adverse childhood experiences.
A few years ago, there was someone noticed this phenomenon in America. The children who has a lot of traumatic events that happen in their life, the more events they have, the worse was their health when they grow up. Many of them became more sick. More of them get diabetes. More of them get high blood pressure. More of them die earlier.
Health risks.
They have more health risks. So these are a list of 10. They call it ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. The more you have them, the more risky, the more high risk you become. Okay, so they are made up of physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, and then neglect, physical neglect, emotional neglect, and then the other 5 is we come from families where there is domestic violence, where parents are divorced, where one parent has mental illness, or one parent has substance abuse like alcoholism or taking drugs, and then one parent has been in prison, put in jail. So all these are adverse negative childhood experiences which can affect us as we grow up. Okay, so we can seek for help from counselors, from psychologists later on if we have them.
So the more of these adverse childhood experiences someone has suffered, then it will end up with early death. That means you actually die up to 20 years earlier. Then low life potential will be that won't be very successful in life, probably will drop out of school, all right, stop working. You also have heart problems and also risky behavior such as smoking, taking drugs. All these are actually caused by terrible traumatic experiences that a person suffered as a child. CRISE 8 is the revised child impact of assessment scale.
Okay, this is a questionnaire that can help you see whether you are still affected by some past negative experiences. You can quickly go through it and do it yourself. I'll tell you how to score it later on.
Right. There are actually 8 statements, okay, 8 statements, and your answers are not at all, rarely, sometimes, often. If you answer not at all, 0 point, rarely 1 point, sometimes 3 points, and 5, all right, often. So what you do is keep your score, yeah? So let's look at 1. Do you think about it? That means the it. Okay, let me look. Let's go to the blurb above. Below is a list of comments made by people after stressful life events. Please tick each item showing how frequently these comments were true for you during the past 7 days. If they did not occur during that time, please tick not at all. Past 7 days, huh? Do you think about it even when you don't mean to? Okay, remember your point. 2, do you try to remove it from your memory? 3, do you have waves of strong feeling about it? 4, do you stay away from reminders of it? Do you stay away from the place where it happened or the situation? 5, do you try not to talk about it? Do pictures about it pop up to your mind? Do other things keep making you think about it? Do you try not to think about it? All right. Can you total up your points so that you have a score?
So it's 0, 1, 3, 5. Okay. The cut-off point, this questionnaire was meant for children, but I've also used it for adults, which works quite well. The cut-off point is actually 17, 17. So if your score, the total score is more than 17, it means that you have some form of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So some things that have happened in the past is still affecting you at present. So you can get some help from counselors or psychologists. Right? Next.
Using voice changer app.
Okay. Sometimes I came across clients who has this high score in this questionnaire that we did, and some of them tells me that some of this memory or recurrent thoughts are actually words, phrases that someone in the past have said to them, which they cannot forget. And whenever they hear these words again, it hurts them very much. So they get very upset. So I have one client whose elder brother said something to him when he was very angry, when the brother was very angry. And I don't think he really meant what he said, but those words really hurt this client very much. So what I did was I got him to download an apps. All of you can find it actually. If you want, you take up your phone, go to your App Store or Google Play. Okay, look for this apps called Voice Changer. Okay, Voice Changer or Voice Changer Plus. There are a lot of these voice changers. So just download them, and after you have downloaded it, try it out and see. Say just record your own voice. Say testing 1, 2, 3, and see whether it plays it back to you. Okay, and then after that, I got the client to record the exact words, the hurtful words that was said to him long ago by the brother. So he said it, whether it's in English or in your own mother tongue, whatever language he said it, you use the same language. Okay? In Hokkien or Cantonese, or the hurtful words. So record it down, record it in, play it back. And usually when you record it in and you play it back, it also will hurt you the same way, okay? Okay, after you have recorded, this is the fun part. You use the voice changer to change the things that are said. So usually voice changer can change the voice into robotic voice or Mickey Mouse voice or chipmunk voice. I got one voice changer that you can change into a mosquito voice. So you change it to a funny voice, a Daffy Duck voice, or until you start laughing about laughing about the words. Once you can start laughing or you find it funny, then the words no longer hurt you. Okay, so this is one effective way I found that people find helpful.
Rewind technique.
Okay, the other technique that helps with traumatic memory, okay, is called a rewind technique. So supposing one young lady remembers that 10 years ago she had a fight with her father, okay, and ever since then she and her father's relationship was very bad. They don't talk to each other, and every time she thinks of the father, she thinks of what has happened. Okay, so what I will get her to do is get her to imagine sitting in the last row in the cinema, way at the back, okay, and then see herself in the screen far away in front. So it's about this movie of what happened between her and the father 10 years ago, but not to play it yet. And then if I were to ask her to play it, how would she feel? If she feels too difficult to play, then I will get her to dissociate some more. Get her to, like, the invisible part of her will float up into the projection room behind the mirror, behind the glass window, and then she'll watch the movie from up there. And then the movie we just played in black and white and no sound, and see whether she can play it. Okay, if she can get to play it, then I'll ask her to come down from the projection room, join herself in the seated place, go into the movie, but this time play it backwards. Play it backwards. That means instead of playing from front to back, you go to the end of the story and you play it backwards to the front. It's a very funny way of watching a movie. But those of us, last time we used to have videotape, we can rewind, and while rewinding, you can actually see the show that goes backwards. So the car will move backward, everybody walk backwards, and everything goes backwards, right? So you get her to imagine herself going backwards. And when she managed to do that, she actually felt a bit better. Then I asked her to do it one more time, but this time faster, 5 times the speed. And then the next time, the third time is super fast, like you're sitting in a bullet train, zoom. And this has been found effective also for helping traumatic memory. If you can get to do this, a lot of times when the next time you think of what has happened, you don't feel the pain, you don't feel the hurt. It's like just another memory. So this is called the rewind technique. You can Google it you can find it in YouTube if you want to know a little bit more. Okay.
It's called rewind technique.
It's called rewind technique, yeah.
Power of imagination and dreams.
Okay, this is the last technique that to help you get out of your fence. A lot of us who are shy, who don't dare to do things like speaking in front of people, you can do a very safe kind of imagination. So in your own house, when you're alone in your room, just imagine yourself walking up the stage, standing in front of the podium, looking at all the people in the hall, and talking, and then people clapping. So have a nice dream kind of imagination. Okay, just imagine imagine the best things that can happen. Okay. Usually when we are shy and worried, we always imagine the worst thing that will happen, right? You imagine ourselves doing the stupid thing or say the stupid thing and people laughing at us. But this controlled dream and imagination, we want to imagine what is good and nice that will happen. So imagine the best things that can happen when we do the things that we don't dare to do.
So we started with the story of the fence, all right, the bear behind the fence. Okay, and we learned that amazingly, when the fence was removed, the bear didn't come out. It stayed within, all right, the compound where the fence had been. So there was literally an invisible fence there that the bear would not pass. So just imagine, you are now walking through the fence. Look at the bear. It's on top of the fence. It's gonna jump down and then it's going to roam through the compound. So, likewise, you can walk through your own invisible fences too. Imagine it, dream about it. You can prepare yourself that way. Things won't change suddenly, but this is the first step. Remember the power of failure, of worry about making mistakes, worry of failures. Be like that girl in the video. Have a growth mindset. Dare to try. Dare to do something different. Dare to reach out and achieve your dreams. And then finally, all right, Dr. Lai insisted he wanted this, the Care Bears. Okay,
I think many of you have probably doesn't know about this. This is, I think, my time or my children's time. There's a cartoon called the Care Bears, and since we're talking about bears, I'd like to end with this Care Bear thing. Think of nice things, think of happy things. Our imagination can do a lot of, can help us move through invisible fences. Okay, thank you.
So when the bear came out of the fence, it became a Care Bear. It's happy. All right, it sees rainbows. Okay. Right. Thank you, Grace. I pass the time back to you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lai and Dr. Indrani. Okay, now actually is our Q&A sessions. So anyone of you have any questions, please share in our live chat room and Dr. Lai will try to answer your questions. Okay, first of all, actually there is a question posted in YouTube. There's a person asking that how do we distinguish whether we are over involved or we are in a healthy family relationships?
First, you probably feel a little bit unhappy yourself. Like if you're in a family that's overly involved, you sometimes feel that you can't breathe, or you rather be out of the house, or you don't want to come home so early. You may feel that, how come I go to other people's house I'm okay, but come home means I don't feel so good. That's one thing that you can, your own feeling lah. The other one is if you share it with your good friend, and your friends may say, how come your family like that one? So you can compare with other people. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lai. Actually, I have one question. We know that actually every one of us has our own invisible fences, right? So, do these fences will pass down to our children? Yeah.
it gets passed on. Example, Chinese family, we always say that, oh, mother-in-law and daughters-in-law's relationship are always bad. So this script means people expectations. A lot of this gets passed down, Next time, if you happen to be a mother-in-law, then you will feel that, oh, maybe my relationship with my daughter-in-law won't be good. So it gets passed on, but we don't need to relive it automatically. We can stop and ask ourselves, do I need to repeat this? Is it useful to repeat this? We can check ourselves.
Okay, there's one more question from Angelina. Would the voice changes or rewind technique be suitable for someone on the autism spectrum with certain compulsive thoughts or behavior?
No harm trying lah. You can try and see whether it works. Like the voice changer is actually quite fun to play with. If the person keep on saying the same thing, you ask them to record it and then play it around with the different sounds and Mickey Mouse voice and see what happens. The rewind technique, the person need to understand how to do it. So if a person with ASD is quite intelligent, he's quite grown up, he understands the how to do it, then you can ask him to try. Especially if he keeps on getting this recurrent memory of what has happened.
Okay, thank you, Joy. Okay, actually for now, we don't have any questions anymore. So once again, we thank you, Dr. Lai, for today's the fruitful sections of sharing. So give me a moment. Okay, so this will be the link for the certificate. So for whoever needs the certificates, you can join into the link, and my colleagues will send you the e-certificates within the 14 days. Okay, so in futures, actually, for SEGI, we will have a lot of activities, a lot of webinars carry on. So if you are interested, please join our Telegram for more information. Okay, thank you everyone for today's questions. Have a good weekend. Bye. Bye, Dr. Lai.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.